Aidan, good morning to you. Boy, it's been an extraordinary 24 hours across the Tasman particularly, but of course around the world with COVID-19 and protocols around that. How has that affected the All-Star Mile and what you've seen unfold in the last 24 hours?
Morning, Jason. What's unfolded in the last 24 hours here has been truly bizarre. It's been absolutely surreal to be here in Melbourne and part of it. The writing was on the wall yesterday when we saw the cancellation of the Melbourne Grand Prix. We'd seen, all the events around that being in town with, the aerobatics that we saw, the six skyfighters around in the skies, and you could hear the motors as they were warming up and things. And next thing, that's cancelled. And we're thinking, the writing's on the wall for Caulfield on Saturday. They have made a decision to go ahead, obviously, without members of the public, without owners on track. And just for following this through, it has been, as you say, Jason, extraordinary. So the race meeting will go ahead. We saw Moonee Valley last night. We watched that happen, and you saw the tracking camera from the inside of the track go past what was empty grandstands and maybe 3 or 4 strappers that were leaning over the birdcage fence. So just extraordinary scenes. And we've got a race meeting today where at this stage, Jason, we have still not been informed whether my cameraman Danny Hunter or myself can get into the track. Now, they are letting in selected accredited media, but non-essential people are not allowed into the track. So I've spoken to Jamie Richards this morning, as you're about to. He's only got himself, his assistant trainer, his dad Paul, and a strapper going into the track. Spoken to Opie Bosson this morning as well. He'll be going along. He just doesn't know what to expect. He's going to be turning up and riding at a race meeting where there'll be just no atmosphere, and he said that's something that he just hardly comprehend, and we're pretty much the same. It's been a bizarre 24 hours, and the events that have been happening right through it, Jason, have been, well, we've watched it unfold, and it's been crazy. It has been, as you say, extraordinary.
Yeah, certainly with regards to COVID-19 and what's been known about that since it first came to light, the terrible issues that emanated out of Wuhan in China. A global pandemic has been announced, and what that has meant is that these large gatherings of people, countries around the world, have been limited by various governments. And in fact, now we have Italy, a whole country, being in quarantine. With regards to the race meeting itself today, Aidan, Rodley, I suppose in Hong Kong for over a month now, they've been operating under very strict low gathering procedures, I suppose, for want of a better way to put it. They've had maximum 300 to 400 people on track, essentially those race day services to get the meeting run, and some very limited passes to owners of the horses that are racing. So they were very quick onto this, a different situation in Australia and New Zealand. Just putting that aside for a moment and the practicalities of some of the news that we've been hearing about the connections of alligator blood, and I'm sure a large number of other connections that are yearning to be on course for this $5 million race. Firstly, talk to us about what's happened with the alligator blood. Will he race, will he not race, and that ownership scenario there?
Yeah, it was an interesting saga that unfolded once we heard that no members of the public or the owners would be allowed on track there at Caulfield in reaction to the coronavirus and just public safety. And we can understand what's happening. And we're seeing the news unfold, like you say, around the world, sporting events being cancelled everywhere. And we can understand why. We've got to take precautions. Even Danny and I being here in Melbourne and seeing what's unfolded, you're worried that maybe, you've shaken hands with the wrong person and it's been transmitted. So we can understand that. So what happened yesterday was with the alligator blood connections, they said, well, the main owner's wife is obviously terminally ill with cancer. She's only got a matter of days to live, and she wants to be able to watch alligator blood run. And he said, basically, if we can't be on track or be able to see this horse run, then there's no point in running. My wife's health comes first. It became something of an ultimatum, which obviously, the Melbourne Racing Club, they don't want to lose their favourite. It's the most important horse in the race. It's the horse that Australia is talking about as being the potential horse of the year here. To lose the favourite and the hype horse in a $5 million race, the Melbourne Racing Club officials had to act swiftly to get them on track. So what they've done, they've got the owners into a function room. It's not actually at Caulfield. It's the old Tabaret building. It's, I think, called the Glass House. So it's next to the track. However, there's obviously a view of the race course that's there, and obviously that ultimatum, it seemed like yesterday they were being held to ransom, but you can understand that from the owner's point of view, you can empathise why they're doing it. It's a life and death sort of situation for them. If the wife doesn't see the horse run, then they don't need to run. So that's their thoughts on it. Obviously, it affects all the other owners, because every other owner is now seeing that these people, because they've made this ultimatum, because they've held the club to ransom in some ways, that they are missing out. You know, why should we not be allowed on track when they are? But even though it is at a function room adjacent to the track, or supposedly. But I'm pretty sure that Racing Victoria, who have organised this All-Star Mile, have done all they can to make sure that every other owner has a facility to watch the race. Now, I've spoken to John Galvin this morning. The Racing Victoria have organised for them a function room at Crown Casino here in the city. Obviously, it's not going to be on track where they can see the race unfold in front of them like the Alligator Blood people, but Racing Victoria are doing all they can. And obviously, it's a situation which everyone would rather avoid. I know John Galvin would love to have his team of owners, something like 37 coming across from New Zealand, being there on track for Melody Bell, but obviously the health has to take precedence here, Jason. And Racing Victoria and the Melbourne Racing Club have done all they can. I think they had to allow the Alligator Blood people into that function room, and I think it's the best case scenario. Obviously, there's been a lot of fallout on social media saying, you know, if it's good for one, what about another? How about if all the other connections, you know, then threaten to scratch? Would they have got the same sort of treatment? But they have paid for that room. It's not a gimme. But all the same, it has created an amazing controversy around this race as well, and adds to what has been, as we say, a truly bizarre lead up to this.